A very good morning from Mount Stewart, everybody. Ranger Toby's here. Hello. We'll be kicking off with our little stroll today, bringing Mount Stewart to you guys while you're stuck at home. I hope everybody is well. Do let us know what you're seeing in your gardens and everything. We'll be getting going in a moment. So I'll be doing the Red Squirrel monitoring stations today. We're going to pop up into the old Piggery Woods just up here to do them, and we'll also be having a chat about the old piggery building itself, but we'll do that a little bit later. Like I say, as always, keep your questions coming in. I'm happy to answer as much as I can. If I can't answer them there and then, hopefully I will get back after the live stream and get some answers to you as well. Just put them in the comments and I'll see them here, all being well. So we've got good signal today. It was actually a glorious sunny day to begin with. Got a bit of a squall has set in here. Now I'm just sat inside our buggy at the moment just because it is quite windy out here on the field edge. But we're all loaded up, ready to go. So there's the goodies for our red squirrels with all the tools I need. And we're going to pop up into the Piggery Woods where I have a monitoring station just up there. All the response that we had yesterday, Mount Stewart moment, was about the little Pheonix tree, or not so little Pheonix tree. I'll try and pop to that. It's in this woodland over here. I'll pop to that again today just because it seemed to be really interesting for a lot of people. I always find it fascinating, but then I am a bit of a tree nerd, so we'll get going up there shortly. We'll just like lots of people joining here, so let us know where you are. Let us know what you're seeing in your gardens, at home, or wherever you are, and I hope you're all well. So we'll get our box, pop up into the woods, we'll come back round to the piggery and have a chat about that, and then if we've still got time, we'll go up through the Piggery Woods, which is a lovely young recovering ash and elm woodland, and we're just here for orientation so that everybody knows where we are. We've got Bell's Tank. That's the Glen Woodlands, and this is part of the red and green trail. And last week's stream was coming from the New Hill trail just up here where the natural play is. And there's part of the trail where it comes out. Good morning, Becky. You've had 2 peacock butterflies in the garden over the last week. The only butterflies you've seen so far, plus blackbirds fighting for territory. Yeah, everything's getting ready to do all its breeding at the moment. I've seen a couple of peacocks myself, and the red admirals. I saw one there quite early on in March, actually. It was that sunny day we had a little while ago. And there's a few small tortoise shells kicking around as well, but we should certainly see a lot of those species coming out. A few speckled woods and orange tips will probably be coming out soon. Certainly if we get this sort of warmer weather starting to come in this week, it's looking good. So without further ado, I think we'll get our box of bits and we'll get going. So like I said, it's a bit windy, so sorry if it is a little blustery on the microphone here. I've decided to up my game with these little video clips and Mount Stewart moments. I've ordered myself a gimbal to stabilise the camera a little bit. So hopefully, there we go, that's secured nicely. So we're going off piste here. It is an area that we wouldn't normally have open to the public. And going to go up this little badger trail here, which is handy. It means we don't trample any of the bluebells that are up through here. Celandine is flowering its socks off at the moment. All these young bird cherry saplings. Actually, blossom watch. Oh yeah, they're just starting to pop their blossoms right now. Most of these young trees here are all bird cherry too. So up we go. So let us know where you're watching from. I know we have lots of regular visitors that are using these moments to sort of keep themselves connected, but I'd be interested to know if anyone's watching from further afield. Let us know in the comments, and do please ask your questions. We'll head on up here. So here we go. So the Piggery Old Wood, the clue's in its name. It's next to the Piggery, which is over there, and it's quite an old woodland. We've got some cracking old oaks here. It's probably I would say it's certainly our oldest woodland on the estate, and it's got all the indicators of ancient woodland. Suffering a little bit from a lot of sycamore is making its way in at the moment, which is one of the things we sort of control in our woodlands. But we're almost here to the first stop of the day of this beautiful old elm deadwood piece here. Look at the fantastic shapes on the root plate. Obviously absolutely full of all sorts of invertebrate larvae in those. Deadwood's a really important part of the habitat here. So, here we are. So we have, I think it's about 30 or so of these around the estate in key locations. Some of these are little half-size ones, and ones like this one is a little bigger. So this is like a full supplementary feeding station. So anyone who joined me on the red squirrel hide feed, I talked a little bit about this. But just for those of you who haven't seen that, so we have red squirrels here on the estate. They're a recovering population, and they are, well, we started with about 10, 12 remaining in 2015 when I started here. Grey squirrels had moved in down the peninsula, and we were basically out competing our native red squirrels. So we cleared the grey squirrels and we keep the area clear. And these monitoring stations double not just as supplementary feed to help rebuild the population, but they also double as monitoring stations, early warning systems to see what's in. So keeping it really low tech. You see, a little bit of duct tape on the back relieves whatever's using it of a few hairs, and I can then look at those for an early warning system to see what's moved into an area. Now this is in the middle of the estate here, so I'm not too worried about these, but some of our corridors, bits of woodland that would join in from other areas of the peninsula, they're the ones that I would monitor very heavily, and I'd quite often have trail cameras, so you put on the tree opposite, looking at the feed station, and that helps us understand what's been moving through, and also obviously gives us an idea of what's turning up and how the red squirrels are. We can sort of get a general population census. You can see this one has been well used. About every 2 or 3 weeks we would have a look at these and retop them off. So if you look here, they've already been through, they've eaten all the sunflower hearts, just the empty shells. There's not a peanut to be seen in there, and certainly not any of the cob nuts. They're the best ones that they love picking up. But the whole maze here, what they do, you can see that. See the middle of it's been eaten out, just there. If I get a brand new one from the box, there we are. You can see that little middle bit is still there, and just there it's taken out. So this is the wheat germ. It's like quite a high energy piece of the maize, and the red squirrels would just take that bit out. It's like having a quick Red Bull or a quick coffee. Other energy drinks are available. But we use that as our main bulking mix in the red squirrel feeds and supplementary feeds. One, because it's cheap. You know, sunflower hearts and peanuts. Anybody who feeds the birds in the gardens know that it's they'll eat your house out and house and home fairly quickly. But it also stays quite dry, so it keeps the rest of the feed dry as well. But again, simple to do. And in summer and into autumn and winter, we would actually sort of change our feed mix around a little bit. So right now we're at our leanest time of year, where we basically sort of between the autumn-winter food stocks have dried up, and we're now down to sort of early spring, and they haven't quite got going yet. So we're into a full mix at the moment. So we have, it's about 50% whole maize, 20% peanut, there's some peanuts, and 20% sunflower hearts in their shells, of course. Make sure the red squirrels are using their teeth. And then 10%, so cob nuts, hazelnuts. Now we get our cob nuts from Ignam Mott, actually, which is a Nash Trust property in Kent. And there's very few hazelnut growers on the island of Ireland anymore. And there's a tenant who has restored an old hazel plat at Ignam Mott in Kent called Gillian. It's fantastic. She supplies our cob nuts for our red squirrels here, and they keep really well. So these guys they may snack on a few of them, but what they'll do is they'll actually go and stash these and cache these around the place. So again, if you were joining me on the red squirrel hide live stream a couple of weeks ago, those squirrels were just busy going back and forward, burying them, making a little hole. They bury them up like that and they pat them down with their feet. It's quite hilarious watching it. It's lovely. And of course, all these hazelnut seeds, they are viable seeds, so they're actually planting and replanting and restocking our woodland for us. It's a really important part of what they do. So we need to empty the other box out first. Now sometimes, you might wonder why I've got a paint scraper and a screwdriver. Sometimes the feed stations get a bit sort of, you know, dirty or wet at the bottom, so we just take the tops off here and scrape all the old bits out. But generally speaking, this time of year, and we do change the whole feed stations every now and then as well and disinfect them. Generally speaking, what we do is we just literally empty it out. We'll get all that out. There we go. Oh, still a few peanuts left at the bottom. So the small mice, badgers, things like that will come and hoover all that up. Other birds will as well. And what I've quite often seen at some of our places, these monitoring stations, is you'll get the long-eared owl sat on top of here at night, and they'll be looking for the small rodents feeding away, or they might be on, say, one of these branches up here, and they'll get their meal for the night. It's fantastic. Good morning, Bob. Thanks for joining us. Bob is one of our long-term volunteers. I'm sure you're itching to get back with us as soon as this is all over. Bob has been with us for quite a long time, and he really contributes to what we do here, as do all our volunteers. We could not do what we do here without them. So yeah, bigging up Bob. Becky, you were also one of our long-term volunteers for a long time too, and your contribution was fantastic as well. You're in now full-time work with is the invasive species? I forget your title. Let us know. There we go. Good morning, Hannah. So we're getting the box filled up here. We don't fill it up all the way. We're probably looking at maybe one more scoop. So one more scoop. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to do all this one-handed. Get rid of the husks. Okay, so we need to replace the wee sticky pad. So I'll put you down for a minute and see if I can get the camera on the angle for it. Let's see. It's a bit of a silhouette, but okay. So it's always good just to keep it really low tech. You know, sometimes the simplest method is the best when it comes to monitoring. Just a little bit of duct tape, reverse it, we stick it on. Those squirrels, they go in. Sometimes they climb right inside the box, which is always quite amusing. You can see where they have been chewing away at the top there a little bit, so they'll kind of like nudge it with their mouth, get on in, get what they want, either run away and cache it, or they'll eat it there and then, which is great. And of course all the birds and the other small rodents will clear up as well. So, just looking at all your comments coming in. Barbara, thanks for joining us. Anna says, we've just discovered some squirrel activity on the farm. How do we tell if they are reds? Well, it depends where you are. I could probably tell you right away now. I'll get in touch with you after the live stream and we'll have a chat about that. I'm trying to remember where you are based, and I'm pretty sure it's in the middle of grey squirrel country. But, there are red squirrels towards Ballinhinch and Montalto Estate and Wilson down there, the Heart of Downs group. They've been covering that area and helping the red squirrels recover there over the last few years. Heather, good morning. Also missed, what are you feeding them? What's best? Well, I say first things first, you need to make sure that you know that it's red squirrels. Now we supplementary feed, and that's probably something I didn't just talk about a moment ago. So this feed it's not all year round. We'll thin down this mix to more like sort of 70–80% whole maize with just a few of the peanuts and the hazelnuts and sunflowers in, because we don't want this to become a relied on food source. You know, this is just supplementary. It's just to help increase their numbers, increase survival rates for the kits over winter, and just build in it's like a stronger population. but we want to make sure that they develop their own sort of foraging skills while they're at it. Well, I'll have a chat after this, Hannah, with a bit more detail on that. Becky, yeah, so you're the non-native species officer. So Becky knows all about non-native species, invasive species, from plants, animals and so on. In fact, this week, from tomorrow, Wednesday, most of the Mount Stewart moments will be centred around the invasive plant species here on the estate and how we're managing them. So it's primarily rhododendron and laurel, but there's also Japanese knotweed, snowberry and a few other general escapees, and technically these guys here, sycamore. You can look, see all these saplings coming up through here. They are a real bully in the woodlands, but that's another story. So after yesterday's Mount Stewart moment about the Pheonix tree, this is it just here. So I thought I'd just revisit it for a bigger look. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it was hard to sort of get an idea of the scale of this tree when filming from first person, so let me just put the camera down and we'll see if we can get a good bit of perspective on the size of this here. There we go. So this tree here, this is a lime tree. It's a large leaf lime. It came over in a storm about 16 years ago, I think it was. Root plate is still attached, and lime trees are quite good at this. They layer. It's called Pheonixing. There's a nice link on yesterday's video about it, but I'm going to just go stand over here and just get an idea of the scale. It's huge! Look at that! So it's absolutely fascinating where it has touched the ground. All of these branches, these are original branches from the tree, and they have all rooted into the ground. And all these uprights here are new trees coming out of the old, hence the name Pheonix. You can see it's such a big tree. I'm tripping over branches here. There we go. It's a big 3-stemmed lime tree. And look, every single dormant bud along the tree has sprung back into life. Has turned into hundreds of new little lateral branches, now vertical trees, all the way up. And thankfully George, who's the other ranger here, he didn't cut away the end here. He ended up putting the fence through the tree. I think what we'll probably do in the future is actually put the fence around the top of this, because it's such a textbook example of a Pheonix tree. It's fantastic. Safely get down here. There we go, health and safety when I'm lone working. We've got a check-in, check-out system at the moment while we're doing our essential works and site patrols. We're still working on our invasive species programme, so pest and disease are quite an important part of what we need to make sure we're still staying on top of, especially in the gardens as well with the Likes to Gardens team. But we'll take a closer look here on this root plate. So this is where you get these amazing little micro habitats opening up as a result of freshly disturbed soil like this. Now, this couldn't be a better example where the root plate is south facing. What we actually did, we're going to maintain this area. So we've actually thinned out a lot of sycamore saplings here, and these are some more that we're going to clear away as well. So we want to maintain a nice open area where it's warm first thing in the morning. And you can start looking closely. See, there's all these little holes here. Hi Roger from Melbourne in Australia, welcome. All these little holes here, these are all the little burrows. That one's not. These are all the little burrows from various solitary mining bee species. So this tree that's come over has basically opened up a huge new habitat for these solitary bees. So there's about, I think it's 99 species of bee on the island of Ireland. That's everything from your single honeybee, which is just one species, and there's 98 others, little solitary bees, your bumblebees, all sorts. And some of these mining bees, now they'll burrow into the ground and they'll make themselves little chambers. Some people might know them as mason bees. There's the ashy miner bee, the tawny mining bee. And I'm a bit rusty this time of year because obviously it's been winter and we don't really look at a lot of insects in winter other than some of the winter flying moths. But these should all be starting to come back into life soon as spring progresses. But I alluded to this yesterday. There's a sinister goings on here, and it's a fantastically interesting predator-prey relationship where you'll have these mining bees here and there. But you can see the remains of these webs. And what happens is there's quite a few little spider species, little creeping and jumping spiders that make their nests, their webs across some of these areas. And what they'll do is as the solitary miner bee is coming in to its hole, quite often they'll land sort of here maybe and then crawl up to the hole. These spiders will rush out, grab the mining bee, take it away. And that's, you know, what a fantastic little microcosm of a predator-prey relationship here, all taking place on this one root plate, you know. And fantastic. I know I'm getting a bit nerdy here, but it is such a beautiful textbook case here. So I'll take this one. Yeah, the old Piggery woodland here, it doesn't look like it's very old with some of the sycamore that's on here, but you can get an idea if you look at some of those canopy trees behind. Big, huge 250-year-old beech and oak trees, and some of the big standing deadwood trees there. This one here is the one that our great spotted woodpecker drums on quite a lot. You won't really pick it out, I don't think, but let's see if you can see it. It's silhouetted. You see all those sort of like little stripped marks on the tree? That's where they've been pecking away looking for larvae and insects, but they also use a lovely dead stump like that. Get their classic, you know, drumming when it's breeding time. And I have heard them drumming around in the last few days. They've gone quiet now, which probably means they've started to breed. So we'll head on, which way should we go? We'll go up this way. Head back to the lane and over to the piggery. That's this fantastic, lovely. I mean, this bit of deadwood's been here for so long, and it's still providing so much life. The badgers will quite often come up here and have a hoke and a poke for larvae, as well as various birds. Pine martins all rummage in deadwood as well. I haven't recorded pine martins in the south of the estate yet, but I'm sure they've been through at some point. Oh, look. There's a little indication we're not far off. First of the bluebells just starting to pop up. These are all bluebells here. This is a beautiful, beautiful carpet of bluebell woodland in a few weeks' time. God, look at all those flower heads coming up. So who wants me to come back here in a few weeks' time when the bluebells are out? Fantastic big old holly tree. There we go. So I was trying to pick my way through, find the old badger trail, which is somewhere over here. There we go. So yeah, keep your questions coming in. Happy to answer what I can. Has anybody been seeing anything interesting while they've been at home around their area or in their gardens? Becky was saying that she's seen quite a few butterflies lately. Patricia says, please let us see the bluebells when you come. Oh, okay, I will. You can see what this is going to be. I mean, just at first glance you think this is just like grass in the woodland. Every single inch of the ground in this woodland is bluebells. Maybe apart from that bit, that's honeysuckle. There you are. It's such a beautiful scene. So we'll get down onto the lane and pop over to the piggery. Hopefully you're picking up the woodland birds are singing away up here. There's a robin just above me. lovely and calm in this part of the woodland. Okay, back on the Piggery Lane. Yeah, so there's a general theme later on this week with the Mount Stewart Moments. I'm going to be talking about the invasive plant species management. Here's a good example of a recently cleared site. This is laurel here. They haven't been stump treated yet, so you can see they're already regrowing. But more on that in the future. In the future Mount Stewart Moments, starting from tomorrow. Look at all those primroses. Beautiful. Aren't they fantastic? Does anybody have any native primrose near them? There's always those lovely sort of hedgerow banks quite often have the primrose in. Here's another one of those problem invasive plant species here. This stuff here is snowberry. You can see what it starts to do here. So thankfully it only grows in woodland fringe areas. If it grew in full shade then we'd have a real problem. But it just, again, overtakes and blankets those woodland fringe areas. Becky says plug the cedar and I record for invasive species recording. Yes. So if you've got invasive species or any species that you're seeing at home, do record them on the National Biological Network portal. So for Northern Ireland, that is cedar, C-E-D-A-R. If you just put cedar NI into a search engine, it'll pop it up. It's part of the National Museums Council portal, and that's where we store and track all of Northern Ireland's biological species recordings. You're welcome, Patricia. Yeah, our nursery team are still working away with all of their plant collection, and obviously some of that in plant sales normally. So I suppose it's a good chance to talk about, National Trust. We're a conservation body. We're a charity, and we rely on our members and our membership. And with the likes of our other incomes as a charity, so that's food and beverage, so our cafes and restaurants and our retail not out at the moment, we're obviously taking a little bit of a financial hit, as is everyone, understandably, and that's why our membership is so vital. So thank you to everyone who's a member. If you're not, maybe consider joining us. It makes all this happen, making sure that we're looking after all of our special places and making sure that access is going to be there after all this as well. The work does carry on in the background as best we can. All our tenant farmers have been busy farming away still. In fact, this strip here is a huge bird cover strip, so regular visitors will probably recognise that. Normally would have, well, in the height of summer, cornflower and sunflower, millet and linseed through it. So it's a bird cover mix that we sow every year for birds, funny enough. It has a really good late summer nectar source as well for insects, but it's the seed crop that comes out of it in winter that sees, I'm just going to step out of the wind here, it sees all of the likes of the migratory birds like linnet and other finches will feed up on that through winter. So we're at the Piggery. We always get asked a fair bit, well, what's this building? Well, it was a Piggery. It first turned up on the mappings. We don't know the exact year it was built. First turned up on the map in, I think it's the 1837 Ordnance Survey maps that shows this building there. It was originally a fully roofed building. We're pretty sure it had an enclosed kind of yard here, around here. So there's actually a small sort of stream down the bottom, which would fit, a pig wallow in the yard here, and then the Piggery building itself. Fantastic little vernacular building here. It's been pretty good. We had a bit of pointing work done to just stabilise some of the the decayed parts of the building. But you know, all these old buildings like this, they become little habitats in their own right. So we've got these amazing alkaline loving ferns. There's usually ivy leaf toad flax on here. Can't see it, maybe it's not quite growing yet. It's a lovely little building, big old ash tree coming out of it. Unfortunately, we may have to take that ash tree out soon. It is just growing right at the base of the wall there. So yeah, Heather, this is what I'm talking about now. So this is the old piggery. It's well, it was an old piggery. What's its plans for the future? Well, we've got a few options of what we can do here. We've obviously got to weigh up things and timescales and costs and everything, but I'd certainly like to see a bit of life breathed back into this building again. I don't think it will be used for pigs somehow, but perhaps it might be something else in the future. We'll have to see. Let us know what you think we could repurpose this building into, breathe a bit of life back into it. So I'm going to head up on the green trail, just get out of this wind here. There we go. So all our tenant farmers, I was saying earlier on, they've been out getting the arable fields ready. The manure, solid manure is out, and they're just tilling and seeding in the spring barley in most of the fields at the moment. I think there's triticale going in one of the other fields, and all these arable fields, they go in with at least a 2 metre margin of species rich sowings to sort of give a bit of a buffer zone around them. And this year we're going to be doing sort of insect strips, similar to beetle banks through the middle of some of our fields, and this helps sort of connect the field fringes into the centre of the fields themselves, and it's a good way of encouraging sort of good insects and good predatory insects that might be a bit of an issue for some of the crop. So it basically means that minimises the need for, say, pesticide interventions and so on. In fact, there's one of the contractors there now for one of our tenants just up. He's ploughing Bell's Hill, and that's Bell's tank. You can just see the top of it there. So heading up the green trail here, this is interesting. Obviously, while we're closed at the moment, all our trail surfaces are getting a really good chance to recover. So there is a bit of a positive in all this. We had such a mild winter, we've had lots of visitors through winter, which is fantastic. It does sort of give us a bit of a challenge around managing trail surfaces. We can't put hard surfaces in everywhere, and I probably wouldn't want to either. It starts to sort of take away from the feel of some of the woodlands if it's got a hard surface through it. So this woodland, we call this Piggery Woods. So we were in Piggery Old Wood. This is a small compartment of a really nice sort of young, I say young, relatively young, we're talking like 50 to 70 year old ash with a recovering understory of elm. We do have sycamore through here, unfortunately. Again, this is going to be one of those ongoing ones that we're going to need to stay on top of. Some more celandine there, it's fantastic. And we have a nice understory of recovering elm trees. Here's one of them just here actually. It's just starting to put its buds out. Focus. Oh yeah. So they're still quite young. We have an absolute stonker of an elm tree in rude health. It's got to be at least 180, possibly even 200 years old. It's hard to age them. We might actually see this when we get to the end of the trail here. It'll probably be our finish spot as we reach the orchard fields. So any other questions from anyone? It's always nice to sort of steer the conversation from the viewers. And we're bringing this to you. We want to make sure that you guys join in on the conversation, so do let us know. any questions you have, or let us know what you're seeing at home. The spring is certainly in full throes down here. Lots of fresh growth coming up everywhere. All the spring flowers are really rocketing on. Even the oak trees are usually a little later into leaf. Those buds are really swelling now. It's fantastic. It's quite a nice understory here. This younger woodland, it's on top of an old woodland, which always helps. So all of the key species are there to get things going again. New woodland is always a challenge. Planting new trees is fantastic, but it can take decades and decades for a good woodland ecology system to get going. Look at all this, all of these are all young elm trees that have seeded themselves. There's one just about to pop its leaves as well. Lovely. My generation, we just don't see elm trees anymore. Let us know if you remember there being, big mature elm trees in hedgerows and woodlands around you. It was late 70s into 80s. Dutch elm's disease arrived on our shores, and it was the only way to really try and manage it was a mass felling, a mass clearance. And we're having those same challenges now with various other pests and diseases and so on. So the likes of the most recent one, which is it's ripping through woodland in England and Wales at the moment, and it is on the shores of the island of Ireland, is Chalara, and that's the sudden ash dieback. We haven't seen it here at the estate yet, thankfully, but it's just a matter of time. So ash woodland is a priority habitat in Northern Ireland. There's not much of it left when it's like pure ash woodland, and we may never see it again in the coming next decade or two as Chalara sort of rips through the woodlands. So we can hear can everybody hear the gulls coming in from Strangford Loch? They're all here to pick over the tilled soil here. So we're coming on up to the orchard fields now. Now, we've still yet to sort of 100% understand some parts of the domain with some of the research that's been going on, but there's always clues like those names of fields that have been passed down over or on maps. So the orchard field was probably an orchard. But we don't 100% know yet. When you start looking at the mapping of this area, it's quite clearly been planned out as a square contained area, and you have classic shelter belt plantings around. Not a huge amount of them left. These are all oaks, and then you've got a big hawthorn bank hedgerow there, fantastic for minor bees as well on the top side. And then what was moatwood would have been mature woodland as well, and that's been a young replant. That's where the motte is in there. That'll be a future live stream talking about some of the archaeological features on the estate, and we'll visit the motte. There's our contractor now. Right, just unclip through here, so we're moving our cattle around. There we go. So yeah, the orchard fields. I don't know if you can make this out. Just over here, it's a small little sort of service building. There's a big building study going on at the moment as part of the Domain project. It's trying to understand what all these buildings were, and yeah, this one's a bit of a mystery. But given that it's right next to what was shown as a nursery / orchard, I'm sure it was a utility building associated with that in the past. Alison Kennedy asks, have the Brent left yet? There's still a few Brent geese kicking around. So for anyone who doesn't know, these are the pale-bellied Brent geese. About 80 to 85% of the entire world's population of Brent geese come to Strangford Loch to overwinter and feed, and then they sort of spread down through the UK. an island, and now they're all heading back north to fly back to their breeding ground. So they fly up to Iceland, and then across to Greenland, and then over to Northern America, so Newfoundland and Canada and Nova Scotia and so on, and spread out there to breed. So there's a few kicking around, I've seen a few. Certainly the hooper swans have headed on. Just trying to think what else is kicking on. We're certainly seeing a lot of the summer migrants coming in as well. If you have a look on the Strangford Loch National Trust Facebook page, the Strangford team are talking about all sorts of things on there as well, dedicated to the loch. I'm sure we'll see if we can do a bit of a crossover live stream at some point. I think a good talking point will be Anne's Point and the Brackish Marsh, which is next week's live stream. Will be a walk up to the Temple of the Winds and then down to the Brackish Marsh. That'll be a good little introduction to sort of the coastal realignment that we're sort of working our way through and you know, facing in general. Better shut this gate. Okay. Just let it go out. There we go. Doris is watching from Spain. Oh wow, fantastic. Thanks for joining us. And Stewart asks, can I volunteer to work with the group when this is all over? You certainly can. I was saying earlier on, volunteers basically make the bulk of our work possible. You know, we do have staff, of course, and staff means that we can do, you know, the need to do works. But when we have all the support that we have from our volunteers in every part of what we do here on Mount Stewart and in the trust as a whole, it means that we can get to all those would like to do's and the nice to do's, and it means we can spend so much more time getting what we are doing like really good. So I mean, a good little example of this is even just like basic trail management. So I know we're not open at the moment, but this winter was so mild that we had so much usage on our green surface trails that, you know, they were starting to get a bit churned up. So having a team of volunteers to be able to come in literally in a couple of hours, realign the brash linings, and we can just move the trail around a little bit just to spread the loading on the trail surfaces. So this was realigned here by our domain volunteer team. So yeah, get in touch. When this is all over, we've always got lots of volunteering opportunities that you can lend your skills support to. A lot of people come to us as a social getaway. They maybe if they're looking for experience or a change of career, or I say just want to contribute to something a little bigger. You know, this is a long-term project. What we do, you know, we're here for everyone forever. We want to make sure all this is here tomorrow and the next day and the next day. That's why, you know, what we do is so important, and the fact that we're a charity, of course, means that we can do this, and we're so well supported by our members, which is amazing. So it'll be good to see this area get a bit of recovery over the coming weeks. So there are a few positives. So we're into Moatwood, sorry. Not far off finishing this feed, I think, because it will be a little teaser for a future feed. But I would like to sort of get on through here and finish up on a few of my little hidden gems in even a young woodland like this. Barbara says, have you heard a cuckoo? I've still not heard a cuckoo yet. I know they are up and about. They have reached the UK shores. I haven't heard any around here yet, but it's not to say that they're not far away. Pat's joining us, first time check-in, really enjoying the walk and talk. You're very welcome. I'm just really glad that I can still do what I do as a ranger and bring these places to you, even if it's for a screen. You know, under the current circumstances, anything that I can do to help everyone get through this is you know, I'm trying my best, and we all are, and I hope everyone is really well and getting through these bits. There's another fantastic old stump, and some of these old stumps become little microhabitats in themselves, and this is a bit of a fresher one here where it's been moved over, and we've got some little ferns growing in it. There's a few stumps around the estate that have got these amazing little kind of stumpery micro gardens full of like wood sorrel and other little ferns and creeping plants and mosses as well. So we'll just head on up a little bit further and we'll be finishing up shortly. I hope you've enjoyed this. Do get any more questions you've got coming in, write them in now. And I'll obviously, if I've missed anything, if I've missed your question, sorry, I will get to it after the live stream. A little curiosity. So, anybody know what the kind of the common name for those are? This is a birch tree. Let us know what you think, and I'll answer it in a minute as well. Lovely holly trees through this young. This is a young oak woodland replant. We've got some birch fringe. Primary crop is oak. This would have been a big mature woodland before. I think it was the late 60s. I think this particular woodland was harvested, or maybe late 80s, and then replanted. Still a few indicators of the original trees, and you can see some of these big old stumps. So Becky's first in there, got it right, witch's broom. Yeah. So it's those bundles of growths on the likes of birch. They get called witch's brooms, yeah. It's triggered by a species of ghoul fly. It's a semi-parasitic fly, so they will lay their eggs into the bark of a tree branch, and the larvae that hatches out produces a hormone that starts making the growth go all a bit weird. So other examples of this are oak apples, if anybody remembers and sees those from their childhood. I don't know if you see them about now. Lots of different types out there. Every different growth is a different species. So that larvae will develop in there, and it basically means that the larvae is kind of protected by all this sort of random growth, and afterwards the growth kind of carries on going a little bit weird, and you get these big bundles of yeah, witches' brooms. Actually here, I'm just a little bit further into the woodland now, and the wind has completely stopped. I'm just going to listen to the birds for a bit. Isn't that cracking? We'll just go off piste a little bit here. There's a couple of things I've been monitoring in this woodland here. We're trying to see what sort of ground insects are coming through. We had a student here that was doing some pit traps, which are these kind of like a little tub that's buried into the ground, and crawling insects will crawl into it and get stuck there. We basically go out and have a look what's fallen in, let them go afterwards, but it's a way of recording different insect species and studying the woodlands. These beautiful honeysuckles climbing up through some of the trees here. If we had dormice in the island of Ireland, well, there are a few down in Cork, but they're not indigenous to the island of Ireland. This would be a fantastic woodland for it, with all of the honeysuckle. So the dormice, what they do is they make their little nests by stripping just the little fine feathery bark off them. I know about this because I'm from Somerset originally. Somerset's like Dormouse Central. You actually have to have a license to be able to do the dormice monitoring studies, because they're such a heavily protected species. Heather says, got a bit of trouble with your mother, can't seem to get connected. Yeah, we're trying to work with the systems we've got here, but this live stream will be available afterwards, so she can always watch it again at a later date, and all of our past ones are online too. I'll put a link to some of the ones that are up, and when this one goes live, Heather, I'll put a link to your comment there, just where it is. Oak apples are great to make calligraphy ink. Oh, that's interesting. Is it because they've got such high tannins in it? Is that why they're quite good for ink? I'm not sure. Colin, finally found out that that's a witch's broom. Yeah, some of those things like you can try and remember from your childhood or something like that, and it's just kind of lost. But it's always nice to sort of get these little, look at that honeysuckle. Always nice to get these little There's kind of anecdotes around these sort of common names for this, that and the other. Elaine says, can't wait to get back when this is all over. Such a beautiful place. We'll never take it for granted again. Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, okay, I'm here at the moment. That's all good and well, but even though I'm only doing the essential tasks, you know, I'm still at home a big chunk of the time as well. And, you know, it's very challenging for us to, you know, sort of think, well, we can just get on with some of the work that we're doing. But actually, no, you know, we need to make sure that we're minimising everything we do to obviously ease the pressure on the NHS. And, you know, so I hope everyone's doing well at home. This is a big old stump here with all these lichens just starting to grow here. A little fern growing out the top of it. You know, this woodland replant here is about 30 years old now. So, you know, this still solid. That stump's going to be around there for a long time. There we go. So we'll head up through. There's a lovely blackthorn thicket in this woodland. I'm wondering if it's still got its blossom on it. I think it might already have gone over. We'll have a look. We'll finish up here with a little teaser of one of the future live streams that we'll be doing. So I've put quite a few of the topics and dates for the live streams already in the events listing. Just every Tuesday from 11 o'clock. Come out with me, doing whatever I'm doing at the time and getting a chance to sort of go for a little stroll while you're at it. It's a big old blackthorn thicket here. Oh, there is still a little flower left. There we are, it's a tiny little one. These old stumps here with these amazing thick old lichen all over it. Beautiful. So, I think we'll finish up there for today. I hope you have enjoyed a little stroll with me, a little insight. I've enjoyed answering your questions. Please do keep the questions coming in. I'll have a daily image or video clip every day, on most of the streams. The other departments here at Mount Stewart will be also posting stuff as well. So keep the questions coming in. We'd love to hear what's going on with you guys at home, and hoping everything is okay. And here we are at the Mott. That's something to talk about on another time. Thank you, Doris, for joining us, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Gillian, thank you too, and I'll see you soon. Okay, everybody, be well, keep safe, and do follow the Mount Stewart Moment hashtag on all the platforms. We've got all sorts of stuff coming out, and hopefully bring Mount Stewart to you in this tough time. Thank you, Colin. We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.